What you see here is a Bachmann 210 Russian decapod, customized to look like Strasburg's Locomotive 90. I've always wanted a model of this loco after the many visits I've made to Strasburg, and after some inspiration from a YouTube channel, I decided to take a shot of my own. This will be a mix review and showcase of Bachmann's Russian decapod and my custom 90. Before getting into the model, here's a brief history of 90. Number 90 is a Baldwin Locomotive Works decapod built in June of 1924. She was bought by the Great Western of Colorado and was used to haul sugar beet trains in Colorado. She would continue to haul trains until the 1950s, where the railroad decided to use her for excursion trips. On one such trip, Strasburg's chief mechanical officer met with the Great Western superintendent and made a deal that the Great Western would sell 90 to Strasburg once she was removed off the roster. The sale took place on April 5, 1967, and since then she has been working at Strasburg and is their largest locomotive. The locomotive comes packed in this large box with a clear top. To get the locomotive out, you just open the lid up like so. Then you pull the clear plastic box out and slide the loco out of the plastic sleeve. Finally, open up the tab on the left side and lift to get to the loco. You can rest assured this loco will be well packed. Before getting into the customizations, let's look at the base model. The locomotive is an unlettered Bachmann 210 decapod as seen here. As stated, this locomotive is unlettered, meaning no road name or numbers on the locomotive. This version of the decapod comes with a separate bell, 3 smokebox doors, headlight for the back, and a doghouse to choose from. The model by itself is detailed decent enough, with mostly separately applied details. These include handrails, piping, and ladders for the sand dome. The cab includes factory-installed crew and a partially molded backhead with a few separately applied details. Majority of the locomotive is made of plastic, with the exception of the running board and chassis made of metal. The locomotive comes factory-installed with a TCS Wow Sound steam decoder with the Keep Alive, which is a small battery that allows the locomotive a few seconds of power to run over dead zones. I find TCS decoders to have a great steam sounds, and this decoder even has the options for Strasburg 90's whistle and bell, which is what led me to buy this model. This is all about the base model. Let's get into the modifications. The locomotive as it stands now is 90 in its Great Western livery, as I like that one the most. The modifications done were the pilot wheels, the pilot, and the boiler. The parts used are all a variety of brass parts that I bought off eBay and painted. At the front of the locomotive, we have the pilot, or also known as the cowcatcher. Originally, the pilot looked like this. What I did was buy an extra pilot deck from Bachmann, then cut off and filed down the bottom of the piece. I then placed the pilot that closely resembles 90's pilot and attached it to the bottom with glue. Since I didn't want to cut a hole for an operating coupler, I opted to cut off the metal coupler box on the loco. I then reattached the new pilot to the loco. Beneath the pilot are the pilot wheels, and it was just simple by just buying the solid wheels from Bachmann. The main challenge was getting the boiler right. To start off, I first took off everything on the top of the locomotive and removed the marker lights and the ends of the handrails. Then I painted the smoke box and door white and placed some paste in the middle to place a round number plate. To fill in the holes, I cut up a small rectangle pieces from an index card and placed them in the holes. I then filled all the holes with the same paste. From there, it was just matching the layout from the real 90. The order is a smokestack, sand dome, bell, steam dome, whistle, blowdown, and finally the dynamo. As a bit of an extra, I purchased the 6-chime whistle to replace the current one, and for the sand dome, I just took a slightly taller dome and glued on some handrails from the original sand dome. To go with my custom 90, I have a set of Strasburg coaches from Roundhouse, plus the Florida East Coast coach I like to use as an observation. While these are not at all accurate to what Strasburg uses, like the locomotive, they are close enough and complement each other really well. And that is all I have to show about my custom Strasburg 90. It was a fun project to work on and allows me to remember my times at Strasburg. Someday in the future I plan to add decals to complete the look. Thanks for watching and see you next time.